Hello, my name is Chris Kramer. I'm a Senior Solutions Architect with Vistara, and today we're going to go over Vistara from a managed services provider point of view. To start with Vistara, it's a complete SaaS-based platform that allows you accessibility wherever your engineering staff is in the world. When you first log in, you'll be able to see a holistic overview from a 10,000-foot vertical of what is going on across all of your client base. So here I can see my alert trends analysis, my inventory underneath management, OSs, my client service tickets, including what request priority I have assigned to them, such as urgent, high, medium, and low. And on top of that, it's fully multi-tenant. So you have a drop-down for each one of your individualized clients. So for example, if I want to look at this end client, I get a completely new view where I again see the inventory alert analysis, availability of devices. All of these, including the master one, when you first log in to see all your infrastructure, is completely customizable, where your engineers can log in and customize this via role-based access to have their own view when they first log in to better maintain your client base. With Vistara, we also have a full, robust infrastructure monitoring and management platform that is built in, which we can monitor devices from closet to cloud. When you first see it, with your onboarding, it will automatically generate what type of device it is, such as a desktop, a server, network, VMware, converged infrastructure, Cisco UCS, all the way to public clouds, where we make the public cloud look like it's on-premise, such as Amazon Web Services, Google, and Azure. On top of this grouping by technology, we can actually see groups of devices that can be customized. So if you have end clients that might be running a SQL system or Exchange server, or maybe data centers, you can correlate each one of those devices and see what's going on with them. Both in the device view and this grouping view, we have icons such as gray, green, or red. Green means everything's A-OK. Gray means there's a degraded or unknown status, and a red means there's an issue. So from a quick eye-level view, you can see exactly what's going on via various group types for any problems or incidents that are occurring. We also have full access to sites. So if you have clients with multi-locations or multiple branches, you can correlate that information here, such as where the device's locality is. So if they have a head office, what devices are there in their current state. These will even generate alerts with the locality, which I'll show as well. So if I go back to our just typical technology tab, I'll quickly go through a traditional Windows environment server. So here I'll open up this server. Now when you first click on it, we do have some very robust widgets that are populated dependent on the device technology or application stack that it's riding on. So here, for example, in Exchange, we see the mail size sent, received, the top mailboxes, including the owners, to be very proactive to understand maybe I had an OST or PST issue with these users, to mitigate those from a single viewpoint. We also can see top senders, so do I have a spam bot or any issues that are occurring straight from here, down to my database access and the overall configuration, even to the message queue monitors of what is pending to be sent, or do I have any issues with my Exchange system. We also have this for SQL, such as my database information, instances, log file utilization, data free space, my backup jobs, so what recovery model they're in, and the last backup date, so I can assure my clients we are taking backups of their SQL infrastructure. We can also see jobs. So if you have, for example, a financial client that runs queue batch refresh jobs, we can see those jobs, and if they succeeded and failed, also alert your team to understand exactly, hey, we have an issue with this job, we need to fix that. We also could see IIS, so the front-end web services, for example, Exchange, OWA, or SharePoint. We see the version information, computer settings, and other various robust information. We also have an integrated hook to Active Directory, such as the computer, stales, total, the configuration, password policies via the GPOs to understand exactly do I have any lockout windows, or if compliance officers comes in, what is my maximum password age and minimum. Say with my local security group, my disabled users, so I can proactively have my team log in, click on an Active Directory server, and see who's disabled if I want to re-enable those users before they get into the office, for example. Now, if I hop back to this server right here, we also collect device details. So the DNS, host names, the serial number. If this is a physical device, it would have the physical serial number, such as IBM or Dell's would be listed here. We also can see the IP address and the make and model information. We have full patching capabilities, which I'll show shortly, that we can see the missing and approved patches. We have a very robust automation engine that will also deploy these patches independent of manual intervention. We also have the antivirus stack, so if you have clients that do run typically the top 4 AVs, such as the trend micros or semantics, our technology can see if it's supported and automatically update these if it sees that it's not up to date, independent of a management console. The system uptime, we can see the open alerts that I'll go through in a moment about where these monitors and thresholds are coming from and their issues, so you can quickly see if a device is having current alert or issue status. Any open tickets that you've generated from this technology that could show, okay, do we have any open tickets, who's working on them, things like that. The CPU utilization, serial numbers. We also have a robust notes section where I can quickly configure notes such as standard operating procedures for various devices or across my entire client, where I can create these and even put a period on them if I so desire. So for example, if I'm going to do a project and this basically standard operating procedure needs to go away, I can choose that valid period. We also have the capability of doing maintenance windows, so we can still collect that data but not hinder that SLA report that you're giving to your end clients. So I can quickly schedule maintenance on devices, or I can select many groups of devices if I so desire to put them in maintenance mode, including if it's one-time or reoccurring. In the hardware level, for these Windows devices, we can see a little bit more granular BIOS information, what type of technology it's running, the physical CPUs or the cores associated with the device, physical device details, logical device details, including editing thresholding. So you might have a client that has a 1 terabyte drive, and I really don't need to receive a notification if it's at 50% because I still have 500 gigs left. I can customize this right here for those free disks to mitigate false positives. We also see the network information such as IPv4, IPv6, and the MAC address. We have the capabilities of seeing all add-remove applications, services, including what mode of operation, such as auto or manual, what the login as, and if the service is stopped or running. Full patch information, such as what is missing and approved to be pending installed, including quick knowledge-based article access. With the Vistara technology, it also provides full remote access to devices. For example here, remote desktop. Once I click on remote desktop, it populates a quick window where I can associate it with my, for example, PSA tool or my ITSM system for ticket ID. For compliance reasons, an activity log is needed. So my end client, if I so desire to give them access to this portal, can see exactly why I'm accessing this device. We have the capabilities of using pass-through credentials, so you don't have to keep typing in the same username and password, or through a role-based access system, mandate everybody type it in. Now just use credential set and hit OK. We're building a secure tunnel to the end client's environment here, and we'll open up a remote desktop window. Now, one thing to note is when we open this, we're actually recording this much like you DVR a TV show, where at a packet level, we're recording all activity on this device. So here, I'm logging to the server, and as soon as I disconnect this session, it will populate to my audit recordings, where I can quickly play it back as soon as it's disconnected, where it'll have a unique ID, the ticket ID I've given to it, the start time, end time, duration, who that user was, what the protocol leveraged, the notes, and the ability to play it back. This is great for training a help desk. So if you have a Cisco or a network person, you're trying to train them in Microsoft, you can grant them access and quickly play back these standard operating procedure activities to cross-train. Or if you have compliance-ridden clients that are, for example, SOX or GLBA or any of those matters, this is a complete compliance control that you can leverage as well to show your clients that, hey, this is exactly what we've done to your system. Now, the coup de grace of the Vistara technology is out of the box, we have very robust templates that have been generated using best practices from major vendors and major applications that can be deployed quickly. So for example, SQL. Once I deploy my template, I can monitor various components such as event logs, but not just event logs, broker transaction, data space, the logins per second, SQL, the boarded log space, all that's right here and can be customized. So once those templates are deployed and I click monitors, I can actually customize all these. So for example, I have Active Directory and TLM authentication, where I can click this button here and modify, for example, polling frequency. How many times do I want it to poll? What's my warning and critical threshold? And do I want to receive alerts on it to be triaged and found if this is really an issue? All that is completely customizable. Also, we have a full script engine library and capability of doing full runbook automation. What I mean by runbook automation is we can have scripts that will run against problems before they become incidents. So for example, in Active Directory authentications, let's say it's become critical. So I've received a critical alert. And I know this is an older Active Directory server. The reason why I can't log into it is, let's just say, our security log, event log is full. I can generate this script whenever this monitor becomes critical to automatically clean my Windows event log to fix that problem before it becomes an incident right here, being very proactive and fixing those issues before they become problems. Now on top of that, we have this little graph icon. These are all the monitors made in those templates. And what the technology will provide from Vistara is the capabilities of graphing all these metrics for a full year. So if I click graphs, I can see all my information of every monitoring parameter being populated here to do root cause analysis along with sales engineering or trending. So let's say, for example, my CPU utilization. Say I installed an application about a month ago, and I want to see what this has done to my server. I can quickly check on it, highlight the information, and see the various ebbs and flows of data. So here, for example, I had a 75.2% spike. And go back in time and find out what was that root cause. Again, all those metrics are completely stored for a full year in this portal. You do not need to have the storage onto your client site for this. It is stored in the portal. Besides traditional Windows technologies, we also have complete integration to network devices. So for example, if I pull up a switch, keeping with a single pane of glass methodology, it looks very similar to a Windows server, where you have a host name, DNS name, CPU utilization, the physical, interface utilization, including incoming and outgoing traffic and overall averages. Again, my open alerts, device notes, and maintenance windows. Vistara's technology can also populate the named or tagged interface values. So here I have, for example, 238.25 router. So if I've done a project, my end client site, this technology will already bring that in, so you don't have to type it in. So if I'm having an issue, for example, to my router, it might be slow or things like that, we have the name here, where my staff can quickly click on that and see all the metrics they need, such as is admin up, operating up, what's the speed. You can customize the configure speed as well. This works great for routers where you might have, for example, an internet connection of 10 megabits. You can customize this to monitor that 10 megabit threshold, so you can receive alerts based upon it. We can also see the latest monitors of incoming and outgoing traffic, interface status, down to errors and discards, such as telco issues or switch or buffer overruns. All that information is right here to quickly triage and fix the issue. If I quickly jump back to the device, we also have full monitors here. So again, hardware, fan, power, voltage. So the actual physical device aspects is being monitored. And of course, we're also monitoring interfaces, such as errors, discard status, and traffic. And you can customize these. So let's say you have an end user switch, and really I don't need to receive an alert, so I unplug a device from a wall, let's say a laptop. I can customize what interfaces I really want to monitor, so I don't get those false positives. Again, much like the Windows side, all of this will be graphed for a full year, so I can see each individualized interface, including what the throughput is. So say a client is saying that during this window, for example, November 4th, I had some network issues. It was slow. I can go here and find exactly why it was slow and what those ebbs and valleys are right here. The Vistara technology can also do full configuration backups. So instead of, for example, having a TFTP or SFTP server at your end client site that does downloads of backups, I can actually utilize this technology and know exactly when I have a failed backup. Not only do we take the running configuration, but the startup, the usernames and passwords. With our technology, we can see and view those as well. So I can view it, for example, here. I can also download it to a text-based file. So if I've got to do a return on the device for a failure, I can quickly import this back to the device once I get the new one. We also have the capability of comparing and contrasting various configurations. So if I want to see the difference between 11.13 and, for example, 10.26, I can compare those, where it will highlight any differences. There are no differences here, but if there were some, on the left-hand side, green would be an addition, red would be a removal, and blue would be a modification. So you can see that side by side. We also have full remote access to these devices via Telnet SSH and also Internet Explorer if it has a web-based management console. I'll quickly do a Telnet session to this device. Again, correlate my ticket ID if I so desire, and of course, compliance written activity log. Again, once I hit OK, secure tunnel is being leveraged. and it'll open up a window that gives me access to this device. So I'll quickly log into this device, and I'll quickly show the running configuration. We have tremendous capabilities as well through our technology to modify this. So I can also send an ASCII file. If this was an SSH session, I can also leverage SCP file transfers. I can copy selected text. I can paste from my clipboard. What I like is find, where if I have long lines of code, whether it's a Linux server or a network device, I can just find it right here to quickly change my configurations, things like that. I can also, again, disconnect from the session, and it will be fully audit recorded, where I have that unique ID, the user, and the capabilities of playing it back on the fly. Now, with this playback feature, it'll be text-based, so you can actually copy and paste if I so desired from this environment. You can also skip blanks, and as I mentioned, copy and paste. VMware, we have complete integration via vCenter to VMware. So if I have clients that are leveraging VMware, I could see their active VMs, inactive, what's going on with my hosts, including memory and storage, what's basically how much do I have left and what's being utilized. CPU summaries, memory summaries. Even those top 10 VMs taking the most resources can be listed. We also have full network mapping. So if you have clients leveraging Essentials Plus or Enterprise Edition from VMware, a lot of times DRS or vMotion can take a place where you're not really sure where your VMs are at a given state and time. This will tell you. So here I could see my ESX host, for example, here, and the VMs attached along with the storage. So my data store's here. I can also be proactive with this. So here, if I scroll down my second host, I see an issue. My data stores here are completely different than the ones up here. So if I have DRS or vMotion take place, they won't mount. So I can make sure that all my client's infrastructure is set up correctly. And if a disaster does occur, I can quickly rescan and find out where all my VMs are. As I mentioned prior, we also integrate to various clouds. So if you have end clients that do embrace the cloud, such as Amazon, we have complete monitoring where we can see the total instances, automatically inject our agent to monitor it. We can see the instances listed here. That'll also be listed as servers or desktops, so it can be looking on-prem, and have complete remote access to these devices as well without opening it, for example here, AWS instance. All of that is at your fingertips. Now, when those monitors that I showed throw an alert, where does it go? We have a very robust alerts browser where your team can go and see all alerts that refreshes at any interval you so desire. So here we can see the IDs, unique IDs of those alerts, the subject, your end client that has that issue, the host name of the device, the IP. We have a lot of automation running where we can correlate what the alert type is. So I can associate an engineer to look at that. So for example, if I have a web developer or a network engineer for SNMP response, all that is aggregated right here. On top of that, unlike other technologies, we aggregate these alerts. So instead of receiving, for example, this instance has occurred 109 times, you have one individualized alert instance that I can click on and see what's gone on in the past from those alerts. We also have visually active alert analysis, such as green being self-healed via runbooks, for example, here, red being a current alert issue, orange trending to be basically mitigated, but basically through self-heal. What your team will do is log in and do a detailed analysis of this issue. So here, for example, this alert is a ping. So what's going on, those device notes that I showed you or client notes will populate here for standard operating procedures so your engineers can see all that information. We have quick links. So instead of accessing the device, we can see if this is a real issue. So I'm saying that I've got 100% packet loss from this device. So let's see if I can ping anything. Once I execute this command, it'll run against this device. And as we can see, it is indeed offline. So without logging into the device, I know I have a problem. We also have the capabilities of customized escalation matrix to your end clients. So now that we know this is an urgent issue, I can have various escalation matrix for my team to leverage of who I'm calling for this issue, including evening shift, morning shift, who we're emailing, who we're calling, all of it listed right here. And this escalation matrix can be customized by the device. So for example, a network issue, you can have this for your networking team, or a database issue to the database team. Once this is validated by your team, you can acknowledge and create an incident. If you have an ITSM tool such as ServiceNow or PSA tools such as ConnectWise or Autotask, we have direct two-way integration where this will automatically generate a ticket into your ITSM or your PSA tool. We also have full service desk management that enables your team to see any open requests, service requests, time-bound tasks, incidents, change control, all right here as well if you do not have one. You can completely leverage this tool, and your team can leverage this as a true ITIL, ITSM, ITOM-based module. Vistara also includes a variety of reports, such as audit reports, where I can see console audit, login activity, user reports, my device inventory, including storage or virtualization reports. If I click on virtualization here, I have the capabilities of creating my own ad hoc if I so desired, or scheduling them. So I can create the name, choose the client that I want to generate this for, choose a reporting period, such as specific previous week or previous month, including if I want to schedule it, and if I want to receive emails or send to my client emails of the current activity from the virtualization report. Those reports will also generate in the portal, where, for example, I'll click on this one, which is a PDF basis, and see information on my virtualized technology, such as my data centers, clusters, what's going on with my host, trending my virtual machine summaries, my storage summaries, all listed right here. So very robust details that you can use internally to fix issues or externally, such as sales engineering, to tell your clients we have an issue and we need to fix that. We also have high-level network reports down to individualized statistics and interfaces. Executive reports, where I can generate high-level executive reports for my team or for my end clients that show everything that's going on with my network technology, such as switches, routers, firewalls, wires, LAN controllers, where I can see my uptime, downtime, what went out, why was it out, what was the alert and ticket, how many alerts did I ingest from the networking perspective, how many we're monitoring, or basically any other end issues such as telco outages, things like that. Utilization thresholds, all this information right here, we're completely transparent with your clients and also your staff to understand, look, here's my problems, here's where we're going to fix them, and of course an overall inventory of the infrastructure. We also have great customer executive reports that can be generated in PowerPoint formats. These PowerPoint formats can be customized. Maybe you have inbound tickets coming in from a help desk perspective, where I can customize these reports with my logos, of course, and show my end clients what I've done. So instead of having to create a manual process, you can generate these automatically on a monthly basis with our technology. Shows device management, availability, any issues going on, packet loss, how many alerts came in, how many tickets were generated. So I used to call it the 2-year lull when I was in managed services, where after 2 years, clients asked me, what have you done for me recently? Here I could show them, look, we received 3,500 alerts. Out of those, there's only 2 real issues, and 4 were, for example, telco outages that we had to fix. We're being very proactive in showing you all this information and fixing it, so you keep those clients for a long tenure. And of course, infrastructure availability structures, trending of those, what's going on, including my utilization of disk space, alert incident reports, including those top talking devices that are sending the most alerts, and patch management and antivirus management. With this technology as well, we have full patch configurations where I can generate automatic patch cycles for desktops, Windows, and Linux servers as well. What goes on is once these configurations are created, they can be customized across your clients, including by type of devices such as desktops, AD patchings. We make it very simple to approve these patches, where I can select all my clients, all my devices underneath management. I can then select all devices and choose what do I want to do. So here I'll select all my devices, choose security and critical, and let's take a look at those. I see that I've got a lot of Linux infrastructure here, but here's my Windows with direct knowledge base article access. So let's say I want to approve these 2 patches. It'll tell you if a reboot may be required, and the Vistara Lab if we've tested or whitelisted it. Once I hit submit, it'll ask me to confirm this approval. I'll hit yes, and it will tell me my client that it'll be installed on, what the device type is, the device name, and here will be listed when it will actually install and reboot. Once I hit confirm, an email will be dispatched to all your engineers that will tell them exactly when your end client's devices are going down for patching. You can even have your end clients receive it if you so desire. Now, besides the patch automations, we have a robust script library where we can generate the typical Vistara scripts that you have complete access to, or generate your own. So if you have a client, and let's say they have a new application that you need to deploy. It's an MSI file. I can attach the file, choose output files in the scripts, and automatically push those out to devices. I also have the capability of using a variety of commands: batch file, command, download, exe, PowerShell, Python. All these are at your hands, where, for example, if I have a client that needs to restart a service, I can apply that script to my devices and even schedule them. So if a client has a new application, for example, I can schedule this after hours. If the device is online, schedule that and run it. So it automatically installs those, and also can do a sanity check where I can check parameters to see, for example, a service restart, things like that, to understand if it actually worked correctly. So I can schedule this task, choose reoccurrence patterns as well, and the start date. With that, I'd like to thank everyone for this high-level overview for Vistara for managed service providers. We look forward to talking to you in the future. Thank you.